Alright, this is the video, the sex video, where I am just going to answer questions regarding sex. Whether it's wanting to know something about my personal sex life or just sex in general. And yes, Nadia, I am going to answer your question last because it is the best question. It's not a Chris video unless I fuck up a word. So I'm not even going to pause and restart. I'm just going to let it run. But yes, I am going to answer your question last. For anyone that doesn't know, contradictyourself.tumblr.com. She's an amazing person. Awesome blog. And going right into it. The best sex you ever had. The best sex I ever had was... honestly, I'm very simple in what kind of sex I like. I don't need... I've done the outdoors thing, I've done the different places, and in the end, I just I like the bedroom scene more than anything else. Just because it's comfortable, I like comfort. I mean, yeah, the outdoors, pool sex and outdoor sex, it has an adrenaline rush, but it's never really like tickle my fancy, I guess you could say. So, in regards to the best sex I've ever had, I was at a girl's house, and I was able to, I love to tease. I am a big teaser. If you don't like teasing, then you won't like my sex at all. At all. I love to tease. It is so much fun to watch you guys squirm. Um, yeah, so I pretty much, I did the foreplay thing. I went down on her, and she ended up pulling out a blindfold. And me and blindfolds, they work wonders. Um, After the blindfold was on, somehow I found a feather, and I was just teasing her with the feather for a while. That's it. That's all I used for a good 10 minutes was just the feather, and I'd run my hand over her thigh or just anything that would like make her think that something was gonna happen, and then I would just back off. And then in the end, I took her from behind and fucked the shit out of her. But so that was probably the best sex I've had. Was just being able to exploit the things I like to do. I like to tease. I really like foreplay. I love to go down on a girl. And then yeah, it was just an amazing experience. It was very comfortable. We both are very passionate people. So yeah, that was the best sex I ever had. What's the craziest thing that you've ever had that's ever happened to you during or after sex? Something like, has your dick ever been shit on? I'm not big on anal, so no, that's never happened. Or did the girl randomly burst into tears? Maybe you randomly burst into tears. Actually, one girl did go burst into tears on me, but that wasn't like that wasn't crazy to me, because sex can be a very emotional experience for people, and but the craziest thing that happened to me was actually my first girlfriend that I had. I ended up breaking up with her after a month. She broke up with me, and then I got with someone else, and that's who I ended up having sex with first. I lost my virginity to that girl, and then after we kind of separated, I got back with my original girlfriend, and actually this answers another question too. Someone asked if I've ever taken a girl's virginity. I actually lost my virginity to this girl too. But so after we were going out for a while, maybe it like as for the duration of our entire relationship, off and on for like a year and a half, we had sex all the time, but I could never get her to really come. I can get her to a point where she was happy with it, and the experience was good, but she never really reached a climax. And so this one night, I finally got her to come, and it turns out that she tends to squirt. And when she squirted, I was like, because I was fingering her at the time, and just all of a sudden, like, this just gush of fluid just like rolls down my hand, and I'm like at first I'm thinking it's like piss or something, because I mean I've never actually seen it squirting before, so I'm like looking up at her like, did you just piss on my hand? But she was like, but she was just like out of it because that was the first time she actually came, so she was like freaking out herself. But yeah, so that was the craziest thing that ever happened to me. And so I also answered the virginity question. She was the only girl that actually took someone's virginity. Honestly, that the whole idea of like taking someone's virginity is just like a bullshit to me. I don't. It's not something I like want to do. In the end, for the most part, the first time for people is really uncomfortable. So I mean, if someone wanted me to do it for like to be there first, awesome. But it's not like something I strive for. Like I'm not looking for girls that have never been with anyone. So answering those two questions, 2 in 1, two birds with one stone. I am amazing. And then, when was the last time you had sex? Going on 7 months now. And, are you happy with the way you performed? Try to. I performed amazing. I've. Me and said girl have had some very good sex. But, towards the end of it, it was one of those relationships that, like, the emotion, it wasn't there anymore. It was just sex, and so it was kind of a downer for me, even though I performed well, and at the end it wasn't what I wanted. Like I probably could have gone, like not had that sex and been totally okay with it. But so yes, I am happy with the way I performed my forever ago sex. Oh man, I wonder what it feels like now. Okay, and then the last question, Miss Nadia asked, "What is sex?" Now you're all laughing. When I told her that that was the best question ever, she didn't even believe me. The reason I think this is such an awesome question is because so many people have really different ideas when it comes to sex. Some people think that sex is the total embodiment of love and emotion. Some people just think of it as a physical act that they just do to or to, pass time. Some people have like a mix. Some people get really emotionally attached. Sex. What is sex? Sex for me is an act that two people do to not only show that they emotionally how much they care for each other, but also to enjoy each other's company utterly and completely. That is what sex is to me. That is why sex is so, like, I'm so pleasure bound when it comes to sex. I totally want you to have the best time of your life if you were to have sex with me, just because I feel like that's what sex should be. You should be having the most amazing time. You should be feeling complete, like, nirvana as you're having sex. But that is what sex is to me. I don't know what it is to you. I don't know if you've labeled it as some, like, a lot of virgins tend to make sex way more than they should. You just need to tone it down. It's a base idea. It's nothing too complicated, guys. But yeah, that is, I don't know. That is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed my endless rambling for fucking 11 minutes. What is this nonsense? No, I did suggest that I was gonna show my penis, but we all know that isn't gonna happen. You don't want to see it. I promise you, it's nothing worth seeing. Alright, so thank you guys for anyone that actually watched this. Thank you everyone that asked the questions. I do appreciate it. And until next time.